called Metallica. And then on August 3rd, the largest listening party ever assembled in the history of mankind will take place at Madison Square Garden. Metallica will be playing the album in its entirety for all the fans who want to go out and check it out. That'll be August 3rd at Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a great party. You want to check that out. But now let's get this on the world premiere video, Metallica, and it's called Enter Sandman.
With the band, I was fortunate enough to get a copy of the new record, and here it is. It's huge. It'll be known through history from here and beyond as the Black Metallica album, because it's pretty black, don't you think? But there is like this snake vibe down here in the corner. If you check this out, there's the logo. Now let's flip it over. Whoa, the tracks. Enter Sandman. You've seen that video here on MTV. It's killer. Sad but true. Crushing bass on this song. Holier Than Thou. Holier Than Thou. This thing just crunches. It's got the groove. You wouldn't believe it. Unforgiven. Fade to Black fans. I'll call this Fade to Black Part 2. Wherever I May Roam. Don't Tread on Me. Killer tracks. Through the Never. This is one of my favorite songs on the record. Nothing Else Matters. Can we say ballad? Metalla ballad? First, maybe the last. It's unbelievable. You won't believe it. Listen to it. Of Wolf and Men, The God That Failed. This song, which we documented in the magazine a few months ago, James told us was about his mother, the death of his mother. It's really, really heavy. My Friend of Misery, unbelievable leads by Mr. Kirk Hammett, and The Struggle Within, the final track and a killer track. This record will be out in your stores 9 days from today. And there's a big party going on today in New York City at Madison Square Garden for the release of the Metallica record. 19,000 fans are going to hear the record 9 days before it's released. It's incredible. And all I can say is go out and buy it 9 days from now.
Directed by Wayne Isham, who's worked with Bon Jovi and Motley Crue, among others, in the past. Metallica doesn't usually make videos or release singles before their albums, but the band says Enter Sandman warranted both.
It seems like a good first song for people to hear. It's one of the simpler songs on the record, and it's like a pretty good indication of where our heads are at right now in terms of just wanting to do the more simple, condensed stuff and
more simpler.
Just a little more, just the groove things going, and it's a pretty cool song. Plus, you know, the lyric thing lends itself to a lot of possibilities in terms of visuals, so that's kind of why we jumped on that track too.
Kind of like Vertigo, not really knowing what's real and what isn't kind of effect. That's what we wanted to go for. Not like nightmares, but not like goofy, you know, Frankenstein comes in the room or something, you know, more like actual real kind of nightmares that actual people have, you know, kind of reoccurring dreams.
Yeah. The one thing that bothers me about video, and I think what we're just trying to be really cautious about, is the fact that you don't want to make them too direct, so you give the whole song away, and you also just, they're so direct that after you've seen the video once or twice, you know everything there. I mean, it's cool that you have stuff that just kind of makes your mind wander, you know, and that's hopefully what will happen with this video.
The whole album will be in stores August 12th.
Extreme rock than anything the group has previously attempted. The producer of the album, Bob Rock, is best known for his work with such commercial acts as Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, and The Cult. And when we asked Metallica why they decided to work with Rock, here in the latest installment of our interview of the week is what they told us.
I mean, the way I look at it is that he seems to have had this ability with all the records that he's done before, whether it be, you know, the Bon Jovi stuff or The Cult or, you know, what else has he done? You know, he worked on some of those Aerosmith records and stuff where he just seemed to, and also the Motley album, where he just seemed to kind of, with all these bands, make their best album, you know, that seemed to bring some stuff out of these bands that other producers or whatever just maybe really didn't get out of them, like performance and sound-wise and stuff like that. And it just seemed like we felt that we maybe needed somebody to help, you know, pull some of this stuff out of us, or just somebody else to bounce ideas off of, and it just seemed like the right kind of guy to, you know, I mean, Slippery When Wet, no matter what you think of the songs on there, it's a really lively album, just life in it, bounce, and it's just, you know, it's a great sounding record, and it just seemed like he had that ability, so we went for it.
Lars Ulrich of Metallica.
Check out their video at #1 on Most Wanted. Once again, it's Enter Sandman.
thing they've done to date. It even contains that greatest of rarities for a speed metal band, a ballad. We wondered what these guys have been listening to lately, and here's what they told us.
The Armored Saint thing's pretty cool. The Metal Church thing, the Mindfunk record's pretty cool. I have a weakness for CC Music Factory. Leave it at that, okay? He likes Chris Isaak. That's his big kind of thing, you know. It was like that Chris Isaak video, the first one, the black and white where they're playing, had just come on MTV, like the last track, and he comes in and like the day after it premiered or something, it's like, why don't you try and play the song with brushes? Where did you get that from? Maybe the Chris Isaak song? It's like we all have our little things.
DJs have long sampled metal riffs in creating their tracks, and now the speed metal band Anthrax has recruited Public Enemy to cut a remake of PE's Bring the Noise, and Axl Rose has been considering asking the hardcore rap act NWA to open for Guns N' Roses this fall. One metal band that hasn't caught the rap collaboration bug, however, is Metallica. And in the final installment of our interview of the week, drummer Lars Ulrich and guitarist James Hetfield explain why.
None of us really, want to go do a solo project or, want to appear on some guy's album or anything. We're really like, it's us and us only.
Yeah, I don't know. Just sometimes I just question the reasons why things happen, and it's just sometimes it's just kind of weird. It seems like a lot of times they're ulterior motives. I think, to be totally honest with you, I think that the Anthrax guys are genuine about what they're doing because, I know Scott's been into that kind of stuff for years and years, and Charlie too.
Making the music, I'm using, but you can't do it, You call them demos. But we write demos too. What you gonna do? Rappers not afraid of you. Beat us for Sonny Bono. Beat us for Bono.
Generally, all this collaboration stuff and people guesting on each other's records, and I don't know, gets a little old. Kind of, I just wish somebody, it just gets a little cheap. Kind of slut themselves around,
Metallica's new album, called Metallica, will be out next week, and the band will begin a U.S. tour in October with custom-designed earplugs, apparently, at least for Ulrich and Hetfield, both of whom have been diagnosed by doctors as suffering from tinnitus, the ear-ringing syndrome that also plagues Who guitarist Pete Townsend. In fact, Hetfield has been told that if he doesn't stop playing such loud music, his condition could deteriorate into serious hearing loss. It's called simply Metallica. Last Saturday, the band turned up at an unusual free public listening party for the record at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Tabitha Soren has been monitoring all of this, and here's her report.
Petaluma is really pretty dead, but they're making Petaluma right now.
Time marches on. Sing it, man.
I think we finally come to the conclusion that you can rehearse in a little room, forever and ever, and that's not really what makes the difference. The difference is going out and playing in front of people and just getting your chops together in front of an audience. This side of us, of just going out and playing to 800 people or 1,000 people like we're doing yesterday and tonight, that's something that I know we'll never get away from because it's just something that we like doing so much, just having people like right in your face and the intimacy of the whole thing.
While bands on the West Coast were treated to Metallica live shows, East Coast fans weren't so lucky. Metallica came to Madison Square Garden, but not to perform. Instead, they gave away 19,000 free tickets for fans to come here and listen to their new album, which won't be in stores till August 12th. Do you feel ripped off that they're not going to play?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, definitely. The tickets were free.
Usually, listening parties are held so a room full of music business insiders can listen to their new product. But tonight, everyone was invited, and it probably sets a record for being the largest listening party ever.
This is a very weird experience, just being in an arena like this, 15,000 people in there or whatever. It's just like, we can't go up and play. We're kind of like walking around here backstage. Well, what do we do now, Have a year.
Why didn't you play here?
Why didn't you play here?
Because you didn't.
Okay. Plus, we haven't played for like 14 months, and we're really like out of shape. And the other annoying thing is that our album played the Garden before we did.
Metallica is now on tour in Europe, but the group will be back to play the States in October. Metallica, the album, will be released this coming week.
Not necessarily made us feel comfortable, but at least pulled performances out of us that were a lot livelier and had a lot more emotions to them and stuff like that. Before, we go in and go for much more of like a perfect tape. You know, now the recording button's on. You know, now we have to go for it. But I think we would all kind of freeze up a little bit in our delivery. And this time around, we went and did many more takes, you know, of each of our instruments and so forth, and just went for performances that had a lot more life and stuff in them. And he really pulled that out of us in a cool way. It seems like the kids over here are now getting a little more subdued when it comes to throwing all the crap that they've, I mean, the mid-'80s, I mean, there was just stuff flying everywhere, just sandwiches and bottles of and other substances. And I remember clearly when we played in '85, there was a whole ham. I mean, I'm not talking about like a ham sandwich, I'm talking about a whole ham, like this big, lying next to my drum kit. And it was like, that had like hit, you know, 3 feet further to the left or whatever, you know. I might not be sitting here. At least now it's kind of like you can realize that you can use videos as a medium just like records, as long as you have total control over them, and just be careful of you know, how you use them.